Hello ladies, I'm Kate Driver, naturopath and the perimenopause practitioner. Are you wondering whether you are in perimenopause, and if you are, can you get tested for it? Is there something that you can measure if you're in perimenopause? We know with menopause it's when you haven't had a menstrual period for a minimum of 12 months and then you're automatically in menopause. But perimenopause is the time before menopause where you start getting symptoms that you may have not experienced before, or these symptoms that you have had have been heightened and are more extreme. So you might be getting new symptoms like having heavier periods or a change in your menstrual cycle somehow. It might be longer or shorter, lighter periods. You might have PMT or constant PMS or PMT, breast tenderness, headaches, migraines, weight gain. Maybe you're not sleeping or you're getting those horrid hot flushes or night sweats. There's so many different symptoms that women experience, and there's like over 30 symptoms. There's huge amounts, and this can be really troubling for some women because they're not really sure what's happening and what to do about it, or if they're actually in perimenopause. But it's very likely if you have some of these symptoms that you are, and there's no real one test to find out if you're in perimenopause. But you can get some tests done, particularly LH or FSH can actually be a little bit higher when perimenopause is happening, and maybe you're not ovulating as much, but these levels are higher and are quite high in menopause. You may want to get your other hormones tested, like estrogens, progesterone, testosterone. It's actually better to get these tested in saliva because it tells us what's happening at a tissue level, and potentially at day 21 if you know when your period is actually going to come. If you don't and it's all over the place because you're in perimenopause, then that might be quite difficult. You might also feel like you're putting on weight, and you might like to know if you've got insulin resistance, and then you may look at testing fasting insulin and glucose, or doing a glucose tolerance test. And then the other common thing that I see with women that they're not really sure because their doctors tell them that they're fine with their thyroid, but they don't generally do it thoroughly enough, the test for thyroid function. So thyroid function should also include the thyroid hormones, free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies. And these are some of the tests that you may want to look at if you would like to know what's happening with the changes and why you're getting some symptoms. But there's no real test. You need to go for look at your symptoms, what's happening with your cycle. And then I generally, if I was helping somebody like yourself, I would assess you individually and say, okay, you do need to get these tests. I think we need to look at what's happening here. But a lot of the times I can tell what's happening with your symptoms. And sometimes with hormones, because they fluctuate so much in perimenopause, it can look a certain way 1 month, and then a few months later it might be quite different depending on what's happening in your life and the stress levels in your diet and what's changed over that time. So it can be a very confusing time. If you'd like to know more about perimenopause and how you can actually ditch these symptoms anyway, then please join me on my next free masterclass. It's on very soon, and I'd love to see you there. If you're joining live, you can ask me questions, and you'll be finding out what you can do naturally to thrive in perimenopause and get rid of those horrible, annoying symptoms once and for all. So thanks for listening, ladies. I'd love to see you at the next masterclass, and I hope you have a great time wherever you are in the world. Thanks for listening. Bye.